Hantavirus searches just exploded worldwide after a rare outbreak linked to an expedition cruise ship left multiple people dead. But before social media turns this into another pandemic panic, here's the key fact. According to international health agencies, the current risk to the general American public remains low. So what's actually happening in 2026? This video breaks down the current hantavirus situation using verified information from the CDC, WHO, and international health agencies. We'll cover what happened in the 2026 cruise ship outbreak, why health officials are monitoring it closely, how hantavirus actually spreads, and what Americans should realistically know right now. This is for educational purposes only and is not medical advice. In early May 2026, the World Health Organization confirmed a cluster of severe respiratory illnesses connected to an expedition cruise ship traveling in the South Atlantic region. Several passengers developed symptoms consistent with hantavirus infection. Multiple deaths were later confirmed. Investigators identified the virus involved as the Andes strain of hantavirus, a rare but medically significant variant primarily associated with South America. Health agencies believe exposure may have occurred during travel through parts of South America before symptoms appeared on board. And that detail matters because hantaviruses are usually linked to environmental exposure, especially contact with infected rodents or contaminated areas. But here's where this case became international news. Most hantaviruses do not spread efficiently between humans. The Andes strain is different. Scientists have documented rare human-to-human transmission during previous outbreaks in South America. That possibility triggered a large international response involving contact tracing, passenger monitoring, laboratory testing, and coordination between multiple countries. So what does this actually mean for people in the United States? Right now, according to the CDC, the overall risk to the general American public remains low. At the time this video was produced, there is no widespread hantavirus outbreak inside the United States connected to this event. However, American passengers returning from the expedition are reportedly being monitored as a precaution. And that's important to understand clearly. Monitoring exposed travelers is standard public health procedure. It does not automatically mean uncontrolled spread is occurring. Health officials are also emphasizing that hantavirus is very different from COVID-19. COVID spread rapidly through efficient airborne transmission between people. Most hantavirus infections happen after exposure to infected rodent waste, not casual contact with strangers. In the United States, cases are historically rare and are usually linked to rural exposure environments like cabins, barns, sheds, campsites, or poorly ventilated structures with rodent activity. So how does hantavirus infect humans? The primary route is inhalation. Tiny virus particles from rodent urine, droppings, or saliva can become airborne and enter the lungs. One of the highest risk activities is actually sweeping or vacuuming contaminated rodent droppings. That's because dry cleaning methods can launch infectious particles into the air. That's why the CDC recommends wet disinfection methods instead of dry sweeping. Another important point, most hantavirus strains do not spread person to person. The Andes strain is one of the rare exceptions scientists monitor closely. Even then, transmission appears limited and usually requires prolonged close contact. So while this outbreak deserves attention, current evidence does not support claims that this is becoming a new global pandemic. Hantavirus symptoms often begin like many viral illnesses. Early symptoms can include fever, muscle aches, fatigue, headaches, nausea, and abdominal discomfort. But severe cases can later progress into dangerous breathing problems as fluid builds in the lungs. In North America, severe infections are associated with hantavirus pulmonary syndrome, also called HPS. Early hantavirus symptoms are often mistaken for influenza or other respiratory infections, which can delay diagnosis. Most people watching this video are extremely unlikely to contract hantavirus, but individuals experiencing severe respiratory symptoms after significant rodent exposure or relevant travel history should contact a healthcare provider immediately. Key takeaways. The 2026 Hantavirus cluster, linked to an expedition cruise ship, is being investigated internationally. The virus involved is the Andes strain, which can rarely spread between humans. According to the CDC and WHO, the current risk to the general American public remains low. The most important thing right now is separating verified science from online panic. If you found this helpful, hit subscribe and the bell icon for daily hantavirus coverage and public health updates based on verified science. Let me know in the comments, what topics should we cover next?